to you. We are looking at the weekly video again. So as usual, I'm going to start off with the market outlook with the US market. Tonight will be a very special one because I have prepared a few US counters chart for discussion because last week I mentioned that this week is going to be a blockbuster week as all the major banks are going to announce results and it's going to show us how bullish is the market if the result is a blockbuster one. So if their results is good. So basically, you are looking at the next, the Dow Jones over here. You can see a very strong rally from the low, push the Dow all the way up, rally all the way up to its resistance and break out from there. And that breakout, if it can continue, we are looking at the next resistance at 5,091 to be captured and broken so that it can continue to move higher. Okay, so what helps the Dow to move up? Of course, we are looking at the banks. We have JP Morgan announcing result tomorrow. Later, I'm going to show you how do I know that. I'm going to show you a place where you can check all the earnings calendar. So here we have JP Morgan moving to its resistance at 156. Currently, pre-market is trading at 154 plus, and hopefully JP Morgan can shake off these sellers and then break out to continue uptrend. As we can see, there's a higher low over here. This is the infancy of uptrend, and the next resistance is going to be 167. So if it can break up from its resistance, it can also be a very strong signal to tell us, or is a very good signal to tell us that tomorrow's result will be a blockbuster one. Okay, so before I go on more charts, I just want to talk about how do I get the earnings date. So let me share the screen for you. So I'm in a Lim and Tan website. This is a trading platform. If you're a client, you can easily log in, click on research, click on US market, and then US research rather, US research, then there is this option called earnings calendar. So what you can see is that on Tuesday, we have first stop, we have Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan before market announcing results. So this means that we are looking at, a potential strong positive Dow if their results are good. Then next stop, we are looking at Bank of America, Citigroup, all before market, Wells Fargo. So all these banks are going to announce result as well on Wednesday. Then followed by Morgan Stanley. So Morgan Stanley is before market. Then other than the banks, we are also looking at the blockbuster week for Tesla is going to announce result on the Thursday. So how do I know it's Thursday? Because this Thursday is really, this Thursday, there's a lot of company announcing result. That's why the lists are so long. Then we are looking at those who are trading in AEM in the Singapore market. Intel, after Thursday night market close, we are going to announce results. So this means that it's going to directly impact AEM on Friday morning. Microsoft during market hour, they're going to announce result. Because let's come back to Tesla. Tesla after market. So this Friday will be interesting if all these huge counters announce fantastic results. So that is going to help the index to move up. Okay. So let's come back to the chart here. We are looking at the banks. So here we can see Goldman Sachs, very nice Morningstar candle pattern and the higher low. So if we can push up to 381 rather, 381, then this could mean uptrend if it can break up from 381 resistance. Then Morgan Stanley MS is also moving an uptrend, as you can see, higher low already. So now we are looking at it moving towards its resistance at 92.17. Then, of course, Bank of America, a potential double bottom as it rebound from its support level over here at around 38.45. And then we have Citigroup also rebounded back above its support 67.11. And then with the resistance at 71.70. Coming back to Bank of America, the resistance is 41.92. So if all these banks continue to move upwards to test its resistance, this is going to be a very strong bullish movement. And of course, the Dow has a very good chance to break out from its resistance. Then let's take a look at Intel. Rebounded from its support level at 55, and then here we can see that it's resistance 57. So if it can continue higher, of course, that could be a signal to tell us that the result that is coming out is likely to be good. Then we have Tesla. Tesla rebounded from this previous resistance support, a very nice rebound. So what we are looking at is it going forward to test its resistance at 699.25. Okay, so if we can continue this rebound, then we have Microsoft, a very nice strong uptrend. You can use moving average to guide, because moving average is a trend following indicator. So long as the stock price stays above the 20-day MA, while the uptrend remains intact. So what we are looking at is that if it can continue to move up to this level, is minor resistance at 280, then we can see uptrend to continue. So all these US counter seems to be a positive right now as per the chart shows, but of course tonight's performance is very crucial. So let's see whether can it continue its upward movement. As you can see that the Nasdaq is also rebounding, edging towards its resistance at 14,893. So if we can break up from there, let's continue to see it move higher. Okay, then S&P 500 all-time high now, but if you remember the target at 4414, which was measured previously, so let's see whether the S&P 500 can continue and move towards that projected level. STI today, a little bit disappointing because you can see a gap up, a higher opening, but it closed lower, forming a black candle. So this tells you a little bit of uncertainty of its rebound. But nevertheless, it's not all gone yet. If the US market can recover tonight, we probably will be able to see the STI continue move higher towards its resistance at 3195. Okay, so let's look at the banks right now. So Singapore market zooming into the banks, so we can see that the OCBC moved higher today, but the candle is exactly as the same as the STI, as it opened higher and closed lower. But nevertheless, despite this so-called setback, it's not all over yet because it's not really at the high as yet. So we can see that if you can shake off this group of seller who forms that black candle with a white candle closing at 1222, then we have more potential upside towards the next resistance at 1256. Of course, it can if it can is bullish, it can easily break 1231 resistance. UOB also the same as OCBC. You can see higher opening, lower closing. So today is sort of like an uncertain, because we were thought to be bullish, but in the end we closed lower. So while we would prefer to forget today and then look forward to tomorrow. Hopefully it's a solid white candle to push UOB to the resistance at 2646. Out of the three banks, DBS has the best performance as it ends as a white candle and with a hammer lookalike patterns just above 20-day and 50-day MA. So with that, if DBS can lead the banks up, right, the resistance for DBS is going to be 3089. AEM, as promised, I told you last week that it's going to fill up the gap, and it did. But the only thing is that it hasn't moved up to test its resistance 417. But the trend is still there. Only concern is that whether can it sustain. The two white candle over here is very encouraging, trying to negate this shooting star that was formed last Thursday. The UMS is pretty solid as well. As you can see, the trend remains intact. The counter, if it can test and break 161 resistance, of course, we have our target still on track at 170. Franken, unfortunately, is not as nice as it breaks below or appears below its 20-day MA, seemingly going lower. So watch for 50-day MA if it continue to move lower, because it tend to rebound from 50 MA for those good uptrending counter. It may have a short-term setback, but it can bounce back very easily and quickly. ISDN, choppy, so probably it's taking a break. Now let's hope that ISDN can form a sideways over here and then decide to move up. If not, it probably will move slightly lower to test lower support, maybe at 69, and have a break before it recover further. Then we have Nanofirm. After the strong breakout, it decided to pull back and take a break with light volume. So we have a pullback with very light volume, tested the previous resistance turn support, and this is a very important support, as if you rebound from there, it can form the next higher low. CapitaLand, as mentioned last week, I'm positive about it, and it did rebound strongly to test its resistance at 378. If it can break up from there, well, we have the next level to look forward to, which is around 391. SD Engineering, very strong rebound, testing resistance at 398. If it can break up from there, well, we have the next resistance to look out for, which is 408. Okay, so if you were to know how to read the indicators, of course, I'm going through this video, this analysis is at a pretty fast pace. Of course, you can always feel free to go back, go forward, go back, go forward, and then look at the chart. If you were to look at the resistance, if it can break out, of course, the next resistance is 408. And if you look at the indicators, they are pretty bullish, with MACD rebounding from its signal line, and stochastics are pointing up again. Of course, I'm not using indicators as the holy grail. I'm just looking at the momentum itself, whether the momentum can continue to push it higher. So breaking 398 resistance is crucial. Samudera is on a nice uptrend, just rebounded from its 20-day MA, looking good. So we are looking at it, testing 43 resistance and continue breakout. Of course, there are some saying that they are still bullish about the shipping. Okay, so the shipping line should be still doing well because of the freight cost has increased, etc. So I'm not too sure about that, but at least I can follow the trend, as Samudera is still positively moving on the uptrend. Union Gas, I mentioned last week that if we can rebound 106, 107, it should continue to go higher to test 112 resistance, as it did. But it fell short to move up to its higher upper resistance at around 117. But nevertheless, the chart still look bullish, as it still have a chance to push forward to a breakout above 115 to test 117 to continue higher as it moves towards the main board trading. Okay, so these are the counters that I have covered tonight. I hope that it helps you. And the rest of the week, we're going to look at a hopefully a positive one. So I will see you next week and update you on the situation and status. Okay, so take care. Have a good week ahead. I'll see you next week.